So as of recording this, the last week's video still hasn't gone live. But basically, I was out, so Jim did the recording for me. And what he and Mike had done is they replaced one of these injector units on that engine 2 years ago. Yeah. All right, we are in B1 with Thomas, and we had to come in here because one of the heads on our engine in B3 was missing the valve here for the compression bypass. This is also a safety valve, so if the compression is too high in this cylinder, it just blows out actually directly at about eye level on these engines. And this is set just by turning that little flathead there. And we don't necessarily need this here. This is just called the indicator adapter. You know, so that if you see that, that's perfectly normal. We're gonna go ahead and just, you know, remove this so that everything looks complete on our engine. And through the power of doing this off camera, this is already loose. So we'll get that off, and then we'll get it back on and be in B3. So I figured I'd show my physical book instead of getting the digital copy up on screen. So this is what we're looking at here, right? So we're looking at the cylinder test valve, and that goes right there. And the cylinder test valve on the 8 and the 3 cylinders, you would have seen us monkeying around with these on the 8-cylinder running video, and these live right here. So when you start these up, what we do is we turn the fuel off using the metering valve over there, turn that out, turn those open, and then we blow the engine out. And that way we can actually eyeball and see how much compression is shooting out of each cylinder as we turn it over. And given how long these have sat, I do expect quite a bit to be in there. So that's the test valve. Now over here, you've got the safety valve. Now this and this are connected into the same channel. So this here, this is spring loaded, and the tension is adjusted using this flathead right here. And so if the spring is overcome by the compression that's happening in the cylinder, so, you know, way too much pressure going on in there, what happens is it blows out through this hole here. Now, when you see that hole, that does not mean something is missing. This is actually the natural state of it, but all of these have the indicator adapters pretty much basic, like permanently installed in them, because it's easier that way. When these are in here, it still works just fine, but you can screw your gauge on there to see at what pressure things are coming out. It's the easiest way to do a compression test. So if the test valve is closed, everything can run normally. If you get too much pressure, this pops and blows out through this hole. Now, I joked earlier about it being at about eye level, but it is true that if one of these did decide to go off, that is aimed about head level, so you'd get a face full of whatever is shooting out of that cylinder. I don't plan on testing that, but it doesn't sound very nice. And this here, so here's your valve seat. There's your valve, rather, not the seat. And that was pulled out of the other one. Now we may need to lap this valve in. We do need to do some adjustment, actually, with making sure that all of these are working properly, so that if there is an issue, that they will pop open and that they'll let the compression out. Not only for safety's sake for us, but also for the safety of the engine, because this is an artifact.
Try to get this off. Just take off that clip and take out that clevis.
They don't work very well. I don't know who put these on here. Probably the last guy that worked on them.
Yes.
Wonder who that was.
Mike?
His name was Mike.
How far down does that go if you drop it in there?
It's about 10 feet.
I think the oil pan's off it.
Take that with you if you want. I don't think I haven't got any. I've just got that one. I think that's actually, Timmy might have extra ones. If that's actually a ship key.
I can't quite get the light in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we're looking at the very top of the piston there.
Probably have to talk to next one.
So, Mike checked all the valves. They're all moving.
All the hatches, all the locks on the hatches.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it even fits the gate.
All right, Mike's gonna push down on this and see if the injector
Ready?
sprays. Yep. There we go.
See, enough. Now we're shooting it all over the place.
Yep. There we go. So that injector's good.
That injector's good.
There's a new injector.
There she goes.
There, in its new home.
It didn't move like that before.
Didn't move like that before.
And everything's freed up. So everything's good for now. And I don't have Tim's number.